This is TWiT. Let us talk about the mobility of experiences. Actually, this is the Cortana and iOS and Android story, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Not the Reichstag story.
Not the Reichstag. We were talking about this on MacBreak Weekly, and I thought very interesting. Microsoft has announced they're going to have, but this is not new. We knew this before, a Cortana app for iOS and Android.
It's official now.
Right.
Tell us about it. It's the iPhone companion for Windows 10.
Yeah.
That's the official.
First, the Cortana app is basically Cortana in app form that's going to be coming to iOS and to Android. It's not the exact same Cortana as on Windows and Windows Phone because Microsoft doesn't have access to the deeper level OS elements that it would need to do everything that it can do with Cortana on Windows. But it's going to be able to do a lot of things that Cortana can do. It won't be able to do things like you say, "Hey Cortana," and it'll automatically respond. It won't do that. And I believe, at least for now, it won't allow you to open apps. Maybe at some point it will, at least on Android. But it's the way that Microsoft is bringing Cortana across platform. And I can tell you, I bet Paul has had the same experience I have had this week since they announced this. I've been like beaten up by Windows fans on Twitter because of this.
Why?
Yeah.
Because I guess, well, for one, they're blaming the messenger, right? And and the Windows fans see this as bad. They wanted Microsoft to keep Cortana just to Windows because they said it was a competitive advantage.
Final straw.
Yeah.
And this was the final straw. I've had endless conversations with people just saying, you know what, they're doing it. I'm just reporting on it. I'm not defending it. But I do actually think it's smart of them to do.
Well, it sounds like you are defending it, Mary Jo. I think they should be complaining to you.
Yeah. Well, you know why I think it's smart?
What's your email address again, just in case anyone listening would like to see
I have one number for you as far as the defense. 3. We are the 3%. Why the heck would Microsoft keep Cortana just on Windows and Windows Phone?
Good point.
Okay. Right?
Well, wait a minute. Windows is not the 3%.
No, Windows is not the 3%. It's coming to Windows 10. So at some point, you would assume it'll be on a lot more than 3% of all mobile platforms. At least you would hope that.
Closer to 30%. I mean, we're not talking 50, 75, 80%.
Right.
It's
right.
Best case scenario, 30%.
Right. And Microsoft, guys, they are now a software and services company. They are not a hardware company. They still make hardware. They're still in the hardware business, not out of it yet, maybe never will be, but their main business is the productivity and platforms company. How do you become that? You put your software and your services everywhere. That's why they're doing this.
Yep, that's right.
There it is. Sorry.
Well,
Sorry,
okay,
everybody.
Well, I mean, right. So I guess in some ways, the announcement that Microsoft is going to take Cortana to Android and iOS, I mean, why would this surprise anybody? Look at what they've been doing over the past year. Every Microsoft product, large and small, has made its way to these platforms. I mean, of course, Cortana is going to be part of it. Leo probably knows more about this than we do, but if you think about how Google Now works on iOS, for example, it's probably going to be a similar experience to that, meaning you have to explicitly kind of go into the app to have it make any sense, right? Because they can't integrate with the OS at large like the native digital assistants can with whatever platform they're made for. But yeah, I mean, like Mary Jo, I've seen a lot of that, and you know, you can write a post like this and know you're going to get hundreds of responses from people who are not very happy. You know, there'll be a couple of voices of reason in there. I wrote mine as kind of a joke. I have little asides about getting, you know, making breathing space for people or letting them breathe into a bag or whatever, because I know people will respond in this fashion. I mean, it's sad, but to paraphrase what Mary Jo just said, Microsoft's customers are important to them. Windows Phone customers are a tiny percentage of that, and it's more important to keep that wider customer audience supported, which requires them to put this stuff on other platforms.
Yep. Microsoft, the idea is Microsoft doesn't care these days where their customers are. Before, they cared that you were on Windows. These days, if you're on any platform and Microsoft has you for even one app or
They're
one service.
happy.
They're happy. Yep.
No, but that's sensible.
It is.
It's funny because it reminds me of the old days of Apple. When Apple wasn't the dominant platform, of course, Apple had to work with other people, right? And they had to make iTunes for Windows and all of that. That's just, I mean, if you own the entire market, you don't have to kowtow. But if you're 3%, you got to make concessions. This is the way it is.